Well, good evening to everyone. Today, Tuesday, May the 10th, and you're watching Amateur Radio Roundtable. This program is also simulcast on international shortwave station WBCQ on 5130 kilohertz. So if you have a computer there and you're listening on shortwave, you can join us at w5kub.com. W5KiloUniformBravo.com. We'd like to have you join us if you can. We have a chat room. You'll be able to see the video and the presentations tonight. And for you guys that are hams out there, if you tune in 5130, shoot me an email with a signal report in it. We always like to hear how it's doing. I know last week we had people over in Dublin and some other countries over in Europe listening in. So let's see, hey, join us on Facebook. We really want to emphasize to everyone out there at the top, well, it's not at the top of the website anymore. We've developed a new website, but at the very bottom of the website, there should be a Facebook icon. So just click on Facebook icon and join this broadcast group on Facebook. We got a lot of neat things going on here. If you can't find it there, just in Facebook, just type w5kub.com, and you'll be taken to our page. We'll approve you, and a lot of neat ham radio stuff on there. We've got 1 week to Dayton, so that means, let's see, next Tuesday night, I'm trying to determine what we're going to do for a show next Tuesday night, the 17th. We probably will not have a live show. We will probably rerun one of our good past videos at one of our shows, so I can set that up to come on automatically. And for you guys that maybe have missed a show, maybe you'll see something. The chat room will be working. You can chat with others. We'll try to check in. And let's see, the Hangout will be open. If you want to go into Hangout after the show next week, you can do that. But we're going to be packing the truck up all Tuesday evening, so we can get out of here early Wednesday morning. That will be May the 18th. We're going to try to leave here about 8 o'clock a.m. 8 o'clock a.m. That will be Wednesday, 1400 UTC. 1400 UTC on Wednesday. We'll be webcasting our drive live all the way. It's a 10-hour drive, about 500 miles. So we're going to be broadcasting that trip the whole way. You never know what you're going to see. There's been some interesting things happen during that trip, so tune in. Let's see, we've got about 60 prizes we're going to give away next week at Dayton Hamvention to lucky viewers out there. So we've got a lot of neat prizes out there, things like Begalley Expedition keys, antenna tuners, packet communicators. We got antennas, so we got all kinds of stuff we're going to give away. So all you got to do is be in the chat room, and if we pull your name, and if you answer Hambot within the 60 seconds, you automatically win that prize. Now, one thing we did, and we announced it I think last week, we're doing differently this year. We've got one prize that we're gonna put in a special drawing. Let me get it. This is not exactly it. It's similar. This is the CAA 500. This is the Comet CAA 500 antenna analyzer. This is a very, very good antenna analyzer. We're going to be giving away a CAA 500 Mark II. Now the Mark II down here at the bottom, it has a LCD screen, and it will actually plot your SWR and your impedances and so forth. So it's an upgrade to this one. We're going to give that away to people that donate to try to help us fund this trip. As I mentioned last week, it's becoming very expensive to put these shows on. For instance, it's going to cost over $3,000 to do our Dayton Hamvention webcast. And you guys may think you've got high internet bills there at home, but let me tell you, the 3-day or 4-day internet we have at Dayton is going to cost us $700, $700 for roughly a 3-day show. But we've got to do it, and we hope it's going to work good. we're having a special network put in because we can't trust the Hera network there because it never works during hamvention. So what we're doing is, for every $10 you donate, and if you've already donated in the past, anything from when we started the fundraiser, that was April 2nd. So anywhere between April 2nd and midnight, May 21st, I think it's Saturday night of hamvention, any donations of $10 or more, we will put your name in the hat for the CAA 500 Mark II antenna analyzer. And for instance, it's in increments of 10. If you donate $20, we'll put your name in the hat 2 times. If you donate $50, we put your name in there 5 times. If you donated 25 and you do another 25, that's 50. You know, your name gets in there 5 times. So that's what we're doing to try to help cover some of our expense. Astronaut Doug Wheelock will be back with us Friday afternoon. He's going to have to drive down. It's a long drive for him, but he should be there around noon on Friday. He'll be with us Friday and hopefully most of the day on Saturday, or at least until Saturday afternoon. So that's going to be cool to have Doug back with us again as our co-host there. Well, tonight we've got an interesting show. We've got Joe Eisenberg back, K0NEB, and Joe is always traveling to Hamfest and taking pictures and doing kits. And so tonight we're going to talk about some of the Hamfest he's attended and also some new kits he has out there. So let me see if I can find Joe and get him in here. Hey, Joe, how you doing tonight?
Well, good evening, Tom. And if something happens in about the next hour to disrupt the signal, it's probably because we have some severe weather about 60 miles to my west. Yesterday afternoon and evening, we had a over 50,000 foot tall thunderstorm form over southeast Lincoln and stayed there, and dumped up to a foot of hail in people's yards. And if anybody was watching the national media, you saw pictures of flooded streets and softball and baseball size hail having fallen in the southeast part of town. Luckily, I live in the northeast part of town, so we mostly got pea to marble size hail and not that long. But we indeed had a very severe weather event, including a tornado touchdown in the far southeast edge of the city. Luckily, it wasn't a major funnel. It was about an EF1 and didn't last very long.
Well, but, I tell you, the weather is funny, and out your way, you never know what it's going to do, right?
Yeah, and the hail was so heavy and so deep that it's still melting. I just got a tweet a little bit ago, somebody showing that there is still hail on his back porch that has not melted yet.
Oh, wow.
27 hours after the storm. The other sticker you see on me, it says, "I voted today." This was the Nebraska primary election day. You didn't hear a lot about it on the news because almost everybody's out of the race. But we did have a primary election here in Nebraska, and the results are just coming in now. But we all know who wins what in that. Since there's only one candidate for the Republicans and only 2 for the Democrats, there isn't much going on with our presidential primary today. But I do go vote. Let's talk about some kits first. Let's see. First off, I don't know if I've shown this one yet. This is all surface mount, except for the connectors on it. Let's see if I can get it to focus a little better.
That's bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll get it a little better.
Back it just, there you go. Perfect. Right there.
There we go. And what this is it's a kind of a general coverage receiver. Now, it's only CW and sideband. So if you're going to listen to an AM signal, like the shortwave broadcast on AM 5130 on shortwave, you'll be listening to one of the sidebands with this. But this is a general coverage up to about 100 megahertz shortwave broadcast receiver. But as you notice, where does it plug into? It plugs into a Raspberry Pi. And it uses the Pi as the VFO and generator for the local oscillator, and it plugs in like that, and there it goes. And now you have the Raspberry Pi turned into a shortwave receiver, general coverage. Pretty slick. This kit comes from England, and it's about $45 or $50 postpaid from England. So you're going to have a week or two to get it in the mail. But it's a fun kit, but it is all surface mount, and so I wouldn't recommend it to a first-time kit builder, but definitely if you've done some surface mount stuff, that would be one to take a try with.
Joe, I've just got to break in here just a second. You're talking about surface mount, and hey, I want information on that little receiver. I want to get me one. I haven't done anything with the Raspberry Pi yet. Now, hey, just a question: does the software come with it that you have to put in the Raspberry Pi, or
yeah, you download it on the web?
Okay.
And there's a web page you can go to that gives you a command that you type in the command line level of the Raspberry Pi, and it's a Unix type or Linux command, and it will actually download the file and compile it and get it all set up there, and then you do a sudo which executes the file and puts up on your screen a kind of a GUI representation of a radio dial and a touchpad, and then you use your mouse and you can click on frequencies or spin the knob or whatever, and that's how it tunes, and it actually works pretty good.
Yeah, hey Joe, what I wanted to say there, and I'm not going to go into a long story, but surface mount technology, that's some awful small stuff, and I know now with my eyes and stuff, I use a magnifier or a microscope. And the parts, you've got to hold them with like tweezers pretty much to solder them on, right? What's your experience with that?
Well, there's two different ways to do it. I either use tweezers and I slightly tack. I actually put a dab of solder first on the pad, and then I take a tweezers, lay the part down, and hold it there while I slightly tack it with the soldering iron so it's just stuck. Then I solder nicely the other side of the part, and then I go back to the first side and flow some more solder on it so it looks nice and even.
So do you use a very fine tip soldering iron and low wattage?
And real thin solder as well, so you don't have too much. The other trick is to use a medical syringe that has solder paste in it, and then you put dabs on the circuit board, and then you put the part there and use a heat tool to heat it up, or put it in a toaster oven set to about 375 or so, and heat it up for about 5 or 6 minutes, and away it goes.
Yeah, Joe,
here's the tool. Here's the part. Takes about a minute.
Here's the part I was wanting to, you reminded me of when you talk surface mount. Back 30 years ago, we had a station come to Memphis, a TV station called Golden West. It was a microwave signal. I think it was 1200 megahertz or something like that. And it was before cable came here. And you built a little
MDS.
Yeah, MDS. That's what it was. You built a little receiver, and it's tuned by voltage. But anyway, here's the part. The surface. We had some very small little parts we put in there, but we were having trouble making one work. And man, I mean, we've been building stuff for years. And there was a 16-year-old kid down the street, a ham, and he built one, and it worked. And you know what he was using to build this with? What? Joe, have you ever seen one of these big soldering irons that you solder gutters together with?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the big wooden handle. It must weigh about 8 pounds. The tip on it is probably a ½ inch wide. That's what he was building his with, and they would work.
Wow, that takes some skill to do it.
Yeah. Go right ahead, Joe. I just had to throw that story out.
Well, let me show you another kit. This is put out by QRPguys.com. This is the mini SOTA keyer. SOTA, of course, stands for Summits on the Air. You're not going to carry your beautiful Bengali key up to the top of a mountain where you could have bad weather and so forth. But this little $25 keyer kit works great. They also have a version of this that is an iambic paddle type thing instead of a single lever. And I'll be putting together one of those shortly. Like most of these things, it runs on a CR2032 battery. The paddle is made up of circuit board material and a flexible stainless steel strip, and goes together really nicely. And let me see if I can make some noise with it. I don't know if you can hear that.
I heard it, CQ. K0NEB, got you loud and clear.
It also has two memories. One is volatile and one is non-volatile. So one only stays during that session and the other stays permanently on it. It's got the keying output, the little speaker. You can mute it. It's a nifty little kit, and even for a first-time builder, you're not going to spend more than an hour or so putting it together. Real fun kit, and you get a keyer. Pretty slick. That comes from qrpguys.com, and they're pretty new in the kit building business, at least you would think, but they really aren't. At least one of them used to be involved with qrpkits.com. Now, everybody remembers the $23 color oscilloscope kit, and this is the same kit. Okay, it's just got a box now. For about $6 you can order this plastic box with it, and there's not a lot of instructions on how to put it together, but there is a YouTube video of a guy putting it all together in about 30 seconds. And if you slow it down and pause it and watch what he's doing, it really goes together quite easily, and I did it in about 10-15 minutes. The scope, of course, is still available with and without the surface mount parts put on. With the surface mount parts already done, just the through holes left is about $23, and the case is about $6. And it makes a kind of a nifty looking thing that you can put on your bench, and you have a neat little oscilloscope for about $29.
But the range of that, it doesn't go very high in frequency, does it?
No, it's only a 250 kilohertz bandwidth, but as most things like that go, watch, and a few months later there's going to be even better. Finally, here's one I have not put together yet. I'm kind of evaluating it as to whether or not this would be suitable for a beginner if somebody writes an instruction manual, because it's still in the bag here, and I'm going to kind of show you closely if you can see how the instructions are written. It's in Chinese, so you'd have to either know Chinese, or here's the way I solved the problem. And there is a solution to the problem. There is a program called Google Translate that's on your cell phone, or can be downloaded for free from Google, Google Play, or on iOS. I think they have the Google Translate available as well. And it has a thing that you can actually point the camera like at a sign or something, and I used that in Germany when I was there 2 years ago, and you could point it at a restaurant menu and it translates the German into English. Well, they have the same thing for Mandarin Chinese, and so you can hover it over the Chinese characters and it will tell you in English what that means. So if you're willing to do that, it could be a fun kit. I'm just evaluating it, so that's something new. I'm also working with a couple of the frog sounds kits, as well as more kits from these guys, and a whole bunch more kits from qrpkits.com came out with a whole series of inexpensive, what they call easy kits, that include a QRP receiver and transmitter combination, TR switch, audio filter, all sorts of nifty little kits. So a lot of kits here. I don't think I've shown anything here so far that sells over $50, and most of these are under $25. So kit building doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be real difficult. It can be a lot of fun. So Tom, are we ready to take a hamfest trip?
Yeah, where have you been lately since our last report?
Well, it's been since March, so we've been quite a few places. And let me see if I can do this. I'm going to have to, there we go. We'll close that, and then we will, let's see. We'll open that, and then let's see if we can share that out. Let me see. There we go.
Not yet. There we go.
Okay, now you see my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's take a little airplane trip. And how's that look? We got it?
Cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, upon landing in Houston, we're going to talk about the Houston Hamfest, which is around the third week of March this year. It was. When I landed on my little CRJ Canadair regional jet, what do I see out my window but the world's biggest airliner, an Airbus A380. As you can see, there are two sets of windows on there. That's a big airplane, and not seen one quite that close up. I saw one in Germany, but it was quite a bit farther away, and so it was interesting to see one of those taxiing in Houston. But the flea market at the Houston Hamfest is much bigger than it has been in the past. They pretty much eliminated a lot of the outdoor tailgating. They still have some. But the vast majority now is in one huge building that used to be the entire Hamfest, including some indoor flea market. What they did was they now take up two full-size buildings at this fairground. So they've over doubled the amount of exhibit space under one roof. I was told that 3 years ago the attendance was about 800 or 900 people, and now they're well over 1,100. So it has done a lot to the good, maybe 1,200 or so this year. So expanding it made a big difference. So, of course, lots of tubes. If you've got tube-type equipment, always bring a list of tubes that you need because that makes it worthwhile. In the flea market, this piece kind of caught my eye. And I don't know, well, Tom, you're old enough definitely to remember these, but I have never quite seen one in such clean and pristine shape. I mean, take a look at this Clegg.
Yeah, I don't remember this particular one model here, but I remember when the Clegg stuff came out with the synthesized 2-meter deal. I mean, it was something back then.
Yeah, this one is from the early 60s and absolutely beautiful. I mean, I've never seen one that clean before. The flea market, like I said, took up an entire building and was quite busy, very crowded. And then here's another look at the exhibits. There was another building that had all the commercial exhibits, and that was this one. And so you had one full of commercial exhibits and one full of flea market. And so it made for a wonderful Hamfest. The day before, we did a group kit build, and I'm sorry to say I didn't take any pictures during that, and I did get a couple of them online, but didn't get them put into this slideshow. But what we did was we did a group kit build where we did a coaxial J-pole, and we did the $4 Chinese Pixie CW transceiver. And it was a whole lot of fun to help people get those put together. Let's take a look here. If anybody has been following my reviews in the magazine, I reviewed this guy's 1-tube AM broadcast receiver. These are a few of his crystal set kits. And I have one of these. I think the one on the right is the one that I will be reviewing shortly. That was in my little bag on the way home, including, these are interesting, these are old Chinese Army headsets, and these are new old stock. They'd never been used. They were still sealed up. And wonderful old high impedance headsets.
That brings back such good memories back from like the 60s. That's the kind of stuff we used to build, and as a kid it was amazing that we could take just a few parts like that and make something work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the crystal set's going to be a lot of fun to try out and see what we can hear. The 50 kilowatt AM broadcast station from Omaha has gotten rid of their AM high definition signal, which kind of used to hash up crystal sets. So now it's a little clearer now. And so it'll be interesting to see how well that works. I'm going to hook it up to my 160 meter sloper, which should work pretty good in the AM band. This is the guy and his daughter who makes those kits. This is Lance, and he makes the crystal set kits. And I should put up a link. I will make sure that something comes up on the Facebook page soon that has the links to some of these kits that we've featured. Maine Trading Company was at this hamfest. Their trademark is the bell or the gong. At the Dallas Hamfest last year, they had this giant Chinese gong that they would bang every time they sold something over $1,000. Anytime they made a sale of a radio, I think, or anything, I think, not sure, they'll bang this loud table bell. And trust me, you can hear that everywhere in the hamfest when they bang that thing.
Joe, I want everybody in the chat room just to check the prize page out. Maine Trading has donated a nice VHF transceiver for one of the prizes.
Well, that sounds great. They're wonderful people. They were supposed to be inside at Dayton this year, and the owner was pretty sick. And from what I'm told, they're going to bring something new. It's a trailer that will be parked outside that's kind of like a mini store. It'll kind of remind you of a food truck or something, but it'll be kind of a mini store in a trailer that they'll have parked outside. So they will be at Dayton as far as I know. So listen for the bell gonging, and apparently they're supposed to be parked just outside the main flea market entrance to the main arena, that long slope that goes out, and there's a grill out there and stuff, and these guys will be right out there too, right outside the main door. Another interesting thing we saw at the Hamfest there was a hand crank RCA phonograph, and I thought that was pretty interesting, and it was playing, and I do have video of that. There was all sorts of interesting things going, including this programmable light fan that puts up messages. It's a little fan that puts up programmable messages. It took me about 6 tries to get my camera manually adjusted to be able to take that.
Oh, yeah.
And on the left is Ron, K5 Hotel Mexico. He's a big DX and contest operator, and he's administering a test to Tom, W5TOM. And what it was one of those CW pile-up contests like you hear about them doing at Dayton. And it was all on the laptop, and you would hear all these call signs calling you, and you had to type into the laptop as fast as you can each call sign that you heard. I think I got about 11 right out of 50 or so, and several of the guys were walking away with 40 or so of them right. So it can be done. I'm just not as good on CW receiving. They also had the club station call sign on remote. They had a TS480 and a K3. The radios were not on site. They were on Wi-Fi. And so you had the control panel. You had basically a virtual control panel controlling a radio at a nice station across town. So there were 2 different stations being remote controlled with this. And I was able to get on and work National Parks on the Air in Beatrice, Nebraska at the Homestead Monument from Houston. So that was kind of a lot of fun. This is the family, and I should have written down their names, but this guy and his daughter who's 15 and his son who's 17 or 18 all built the Chinese Pixie kit, and we got them working, and so now they have a fun little CW transceiver they can play with at home, all for $4, so you can't beat that. And they were really, really happy, and I do get emails from them from time to time asking about new kits. But you can't go to Texas without seeing a Longhorn, can you?
So what meter do you think those horns are there? That's probably about a 4 meter? No.
I don't know. It's pretty big. I don't know. I could probably load it up on 6 meters.
Yeah, just kind of wind a wire around those would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And this was at the Houston Rodeo, and the Houston Rodeo is a real big event. And
Now, okay, there you go.
I'd like to thank Ron and K5HM and Teresa KE5MUX for making sure I got to see the Houston Rodeo. The Houston Rodeo is one of the biggest in the world. It's compared with the Calgary Stampede and the Cheyenne Rodeo. It lasts almost 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks long, and this was the final day of it. So I got to see the rodeo finals. But walking around the exhibits, you'll see all sorts of things. A cigar store Indian. Never seen one in person before. That's what it is. And cowboy boots. You want to buy cowboy boots? They are not cheap. This place was a little more reasonable price, with a lot of them under $300. But cowboy boots and hats and so forth was the big thing for sale. It's probably a better shot of one right there for $250. And some of the boot places had these things that they can put steam in them so they could contour it for your feet, so you didn't have to walk out and try and break them in. So you got lots of cowboy hats and all sorts of things to buy there. But the Houston Rodeo is a huge event, and it's entirely run by volunteers. Everybody, except for, of course, the commercial vendors, are volunteers. Now, I had a problem. My belt was just about ready to come apart, and I had a pending flight that evening. So I went to this booth, and they made me a belt. The guy actually takes and makes the belt right there, and he cuts it to your size and pokes the holes in there and fits you and everything. I think mine cost about $29. And I'm still wearing that belt today. Very, very neatly done. Texas cowboy belts. And so, of course, it's almost like going to the state fair, with the main exhibit hall being all indoors. Everything that you've seen was all indoors, including the cattle displays and stuff, were all in a nice heated and air-conditioned building. But, of course, the main attraction is the rodeo. Now, let me see if I can zoom in on that. Yes, I don't think I could ever do that. How long do you have to stay on? 7 seconds or something like that. But very difficult to do. And I have a lot of respect for these riders. This guy has one of the toughest jobs in the rodeo. I bet you can't tell what this guy is doing. But that's your rodeo clown, and he's there to distract the bulls. But lots of very skilled riders and very angry horses and angry bulls. And I tried to catch them completely in the air. As you can see, I caught them with all four hooves in the air and quite a long ways, a couple of feet off the ground. Same thing with this bull, completely off the ground. That's not an easy ride. And you can see that some of them are wearing football-like helmets. Mm-hmm. At the very end of the rodeo is the calf scramble. And what they do is they have a lot of your 4-H FFA type kids out there, and then they release a whole bunch of calves out there, and it's up to them to lasso the calf and drag it into a square that's marked in chalk in the middle of the field. And if they can drag that cow into the middle of the field, they get to keep it, and they have to raise it, dress it, and get it ready to compete for next year's rodeo. And like I said, all the officials that you see with the black outfits there are all volunteers. Every one of them is on one of many committees. So that was the Houston Hamfest. So now we get on the train and we go to Branson, Missouri. Okay, and Branson, Missouri is kind of next to Nashville, one of the country music capitals of the country. Branson has more theater seats than Las Vegas. It's really amazing. There are a lot of live shows in Branson. So we'll start off in Branson and we'll take a train ride. All aboard, and very interesting old train. It's called the Branson Scenic Railway, and it goes through 2 tunnels and goes all the way down into northern Arkansas, which isn't that far, actually. It's about 10 or 15 miles before you get into Arkansas. Very scenic and kind of a lot of fun, and they'll tell you a lot of history about these railroad cars. And I got into one of the Vistaliner cars, so you have a view of all the burned out trailer homes and everything else that you see along the way. And you get to go through 2 of these rock tunnels. And it looks kind of shabby when you get to it, but it's actually been there over 110 or 115 years, something like that, and it's been well maintained. In fact, the tracks that this tourist train rides on is shared with a cargo railroad that actually operates several trains a day hauling freight. So they have to kind of time the trips and which direction they go according to when the freight trains are going to come through. Coming out the tunnel on the other side, hopefully my photography comes through good on this. Quite a view when you're in one of the Vistaliner cars. And that's kind of a look as we go over one of the high trestles. The terrain is quite rough, and so it was quite a feat back 100 and some years ago to build this railroad in the Ozark Mountains. But of course, why are we there? We're in Branson, Missouri because it's time for OzarkCon. And OzarkCon is one of the biggest QRP gatherings in the country. This year, we had over 160. Now, to give you an idea, put it in perspective, about 5 or 6 years ago, I think we had 80 or 90 attendees. So we have almost doubled the attendance at this QRP convention. And it's one that everybody goes to all the seminars. You don't usually leave to go to the flea market very much. You do that during the breaks in between the seminars. And we do have a build-a-thon. This one didn't last quite so long. In fact, most people were done with the kits in about 10 minutes. And of course, which kit were we making? We were making those lights that go forever on a battery, where you put the battery in and it goes 6 weeks or 8 weeks. The one that I still have around here somewhere and is still lit up on a half-dead battery, so we decided to make those. And they're great for QRPers because you can take it out with you when you're doing field work, especially in the evening, and you're able to light up your log sheet and not worry about the battery running out. As you can see, these 2 kit builders are using a match set of those cordless soldering irons that I reviewed in my CQ article a few months ago. They are excellent soldering irons for kit building. Here's kind of a close-up. Somebody is testing the voltage on their battery. As you can see, it's not quite a 1.5 volt battery. It's been depleted, but it still works great in these lights. This is Steve, WG0AT, and if you saw the issue of QST magazine a month or 2 ago with the guy with the goats that goes up on top of the mountains, that's him. He's from Colorado, and he made the trek all the way to Missouri, but did not bring the goats with him. I think we're kind of all grateful that he didn't, but he uses the goats to help carry his stuff up the mountains. And that's Steve. I can't remember his call, but he's from Alpha Antenna, and he makes these loop antennas that you see there. I have one of them, and it's a wonderful QRP portable antenna. It's good for 10 watts. It is directional, like most loops are, and a wonderful antenna. And he also has some antennas for portable use that handle up to 500 watts. And this radio here is a home brew the guy made from a neat box. And what this is what they call a paraset, or something that like a paratrooper would have had in World War II. You can see on the left there are crystals and spare tubes in there. Here's all the tubes. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see the writing on it a little better. I think that helps. There's a 6V6, 6XK7s.
Yeah, so the tubes go in the box there. You have to unplug them before you can close the lid.
Yeah, exactly. But he also keeps some spares with him. And you can see the antenna, and it says E for Earth, because these were mostly made by the British back then. And so you had the antenna in the ground. Over here's where you put your crystal. Over here's your power supply, a headphone jack, a key jack. There's all sorts of tuning controls, a receiver, reaction, the tank coil. And this is another key that's built in, and your power switch there. The aerial indicator and tank indicator are made from neon bulbs. So you peak it up and tune it using neon bulbs. Very fascinating radio. They call that a paraset, and this was homemade. And I got to tell you, what a wonderful radio, and it does work and works quite well. So what do you do in Branson? Okay, this is a hamfest that you're going to want to bring your family to, because there's lots of stuff for them to do during the day, and in the evening there's lots of shows to go see. This is probably the most popular show in Branson. It's called Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede. Now, if any of you have ever been to Medieval Times, which is all over the country, or to the Excalibur in Las Vegas, you've seen the knights in shining armor, and you've sat in this arena type theater where you eat Cornish game hen with your fingers. Well, guess what? They have the same menu, so you get the same food, the same atmosphere, but instead of knights in shining armor, you get cowboys. And so that is Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede. And this is kind of what it looks like, several things that they do out there. And of course, the horses are the stars of the show, very well-trained horses. And you can see up in the stands, there's plenty of room. You're not going to be blocked from your view by people below you. And you can see the servers going back and forth, bringing you food and drink. It's quite an experience and a whole lot of fun, and it's a great thing to bring the family to. Just tremendous acts. I was surprised they allowed photography in there, and they said, oh, yeah, go ahead. It was not a big deal. A lot of people were using their phones and things like that, but you just never know what you're going to see next during this show. Lots of elaborate staging. This particular set dropped down from the ceiling. You couldn't see it. It was a smooth ceiling, and then this whole set comes down from the ceiling with people on it. And this was the grand finale, and these suits were made with LEDs, of course, battery-powered light-up suits for the grand finale at the Dixie Stampede in Branson. So, who was the stars of the show? The horses. I'm telling you, these horses were incredible. And of course, they got signs all over the place warning you not to try to pet them because these horses bite. And so they want you to stay away. I got close enough to get this shot. Have you been to Branson before, Tom?
I have been, and I think I've been to the Dixie Stampede.
Well, this is a great excuse to come again. Come for OzarkCon, which is in early April. Okay, so let's go down the road from there. The following weekend was the Green Country Hamfest in Claremore, which is kind of just outside of Tulsa. It's really part of the Tulsa metropolitan area, and it lies on Route 66. And Route 66, of course, is known for having its quirky attractions, and this is the Big Blue Whale. And there were two guys who were fishing in there and catching stuff, and the lake was full of turtles, too. So Route 66 has got lots of neat stops to make, and the Tulsa area, I don't know if it's really a hotbed of tourism, but there were things to see if you wanted to see unique structures. And that is one of them along Route 66. This is near Catoosa, which is between Claremore and the Tulsa city limits. The symbol of Tulsa is the Golden Driller, and he stands about 60 feet tall. This statue and this oil derrick was built in the early 1950s, I think around 1955, for the Petroleum Expo, including the big building behind it, which is still used this day for state fair exhibitions and car shows and home shows and things like that. The golden driller is the symbol of Tulsa, and symbolizes the oil industry that created Tulsa. And you can see this thing for quite a ways away when you're driving up the road to the Expo Center. You go across town and you'll find Oral Roberts University. And the buildings there kind of remind you of Star Trek, but this is the first thing you see when you come in the driveway. These are also about 60 feet tall. They basically call those the praying hands. And I was kind of lucky. The sun was just about right to get a picture of them when I was there.
Hey Joe, that reminds me of a thing just south of Dayton. Have you? I don't know if you've
Yes, I have.
You've been down there. You know what I'm
Jesus,
talking about.
Now it's Hug Me Jesus.
Yeah, Touchdown Jesus. Where I mean, that must have been a 40, 50-foot statue, and he was he had his hands up like this, and he got struck by lightning a few years ago and burned up, and they rebuilt him. Yeah.
And so now they built a new one that supposedly won't explode when it gets hit by lightning, but we'll see. This is the Prayer Tower, which is in the middle of the Oral Roberts University campus. And on the very tip top, there's a flame that can be visible a long ways at night. And it's quite a view of the city and the surrounding area if you go up in the tower. So, being the artistic photographer I am, I decided to get myself square in a nice position and try to take kind of an artistic photo of the building, of the tower. And I think that came out pretty good, Tom.
That could be an antenna.
It could be. In fact, you see spikes sticking out from each of the things there, but those aren't really antennas. Those are lightning arresters. Also, Claremore, Oklahoma, where the Hamfest is held, 2 blocks from the Hamfest is the Will Rogers Museum, dedicated to that patron saint of Oklahoma, Will Rogers. And so there's statues and all sorts of information and everything you want to know about Will Rogers' life, and beautiful murals depicting the movies and things that he did all throughout his long career until he was tragically killed in a plane crash in Alaska. So, of course, we came to go to the Hamfest, and the Hamfest did not disappoint. They have attendance of around 1,500, so this is even bigger than the one in Houston. This one is quite big because they don't have any other local hamfests in the Tulsa metro area. It is put on by an independent group that's kind of made up of people that are members of all the different local radio clubs, including some of the Indian tribal radio clubs like the Cherokee Club and so forth that exist in the area. And so the Green Country Hamfest has grown over the years and is really, really a good time. Let's see if we can get a shot here. Of course, this was as we went into the gate the first time. We were greeted by this clown. He was 5 years old, and he wants to be a shrine clown, so the Shriners dressed him up. And this is what it looks like when you're looking from the prize stage, looking over the Hamfest. As you can see, it's pretty crowded. 1,500 people there at least at the Green Country Hamfest. Now, you notice the clubs are in the booths along the front, and those are the clubs that help put on the Hamfest. And so each one has a table to solicit membership or sell raffle tickets or things like that across the front of each aisle. Take a look this way. You can see even more. Lots of people there. Great time, great Hamfest. Absolutely wonderful. And we'll take a look there. And kind of close to you on the lower right is the ARL booth. And then another commercial vendor there. This one puts the flea market in the middle, and the commercial vendors are on the complete outside perimeter of this room. All the way around, 360 degrees around, are commercial vendors, and the flea market is in the middle. And I think it was something like 160 or so, no, or 200 and some tables in this thing. It's absolutely immense. And that one, you go to greencountryhamfest.org. I was introduced to it when I used to have to go to Tulsa for work, for training on the Sabre airline system. Their headquarters was there, and I used to have to spend weeks at a time. And the first time I went down, they had their Hamfest, and so I learned quickly to schedule my future training during Hamfest weekend, and absolutely a great time. This was the star of the show, though, the three-legged dog, and he was just the nicest little dog, and he would just come up to you and want to be petted as he hopped along. The three-legged dog.
Wow, a three-legged dog, huh?
Yep, and lots of parts, lots of things that you would normally see at a Hamfest. Absolutely great place to go. Lots of bargains. This is one that if you live around Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, the surrounding four-state region, this is worthwhile to come to. Lots of great radios in great shape. Some not so great, but lots of really clean used radios. I saw several very, very nice clean Drakes for sale that looked like they had just come out of the box. Antique radios as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course ads from some of the different clubs there for their upcoming Hamfests. Texoma is of course in the southern part of Oklahoma, and it comes in the fall. Once again, you need tubes. Bring a list when you go to a Hamfest. Some of these were like 25 cents a piece.
Many years ago when I moved, I cleaned out my house. I threw away 1,000 tubes. They were in boxes that looked just like that stack you just showed. I wish I'd kept them.
Yep, they're pretty valuable. A lot of people like to go through those. This guy had a full Drake TR7 line, and that's what I use on field day. This guy had military radios and all sorts of books about them, and KB0SFP, they call him the military radio guy. And that handheld, I think, was on 6 meters, not sure. So let's go a few miles to the north. Let's go to Kansas City, and we'll look at the Shriners real quick. The Ararat Shrine, which is, of course, the Masonic Shrine Order in Kansas City, has a ham club, and they provide communications for their own parades and events, so that they are kind of a self-contained unit when you have big parades, including their own communications. And they also have a radio club that communicates with the Shrine hospitals and stuff and acts as a backup communications network. And of course, since they own the building, they don't pay anything for the use of the room. So admission to their Hamfest is like $3 or $4. And this one also gets a pretty good sized crowd, but it's a shorter duration local Hamfest. It goes from, I think, like 8 a.m. to about noon. And they kind of shuffled us out a little early this year because somebody accidentally scheduled a wedding reception for 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So imagine at noon quickly transforming this room while people were still selling stuff in the flea market and putting up banquet tables. So it was pretty interesting. That's kind of another view of it. That's a little better picture. How many of you have ever seen WB0W at Hamfest, like Dayton? That's him on the right, and his wife up in front there with him. They actually used to live here in Lincoln many years ago, not too far from me. And they actually live in St. Joe, and that's where all the Tar Heel antennas are now made, at his factory in St. Joseph, Missouri, which from this particular Hamfest was about a 35-minute drive, not far away, maybe 45 minutes at the most. Lots of great stuff, always fun to go to a different Hamfest and see all the goodies. And once again, a lot of tubes at this one. Now that guy had a really nice looking Drake C line, but he did want $1,000 for it. But quite a setup. This guy here from Kansas City was operating his KX3 with a backpack antenna, on 20 meters, and he handed me the mic, and I worked one of those national parks on the air that was in, I think he was in Florida. We did it with 10 watt single sideband standing out in front of the Shrine Temple.
I think I'd be wearing a steel helmet.
That was only 10 watts.
Yeah.
And this is their golf cart that they use in the parades and to do their communications. And the repeater is WA0NQA on 145.13, which also served as the talk-in for the Hamfest. And that statue, of course, is out in front of the Shrine Temple, and that's how you know you're in the right place. The Salvation Army had their Saturn van, and let's take a look inside there. A nice looking communications trailer all set up. Of course, they exercise it on field day, but they actually use it quite often for disasters like the tornadoes and stuff that we've seen in the Midwest lately. The highlight of the Hamfest to me was upstairs. This guy had this 3D printer going. Now, before you say, well, it's just another 3D printer, most of the parts for this 3D printer, except for the metal parts, were made with another 3D printer. So almost all the plastic pieces on this thing were made with another 3D printer. And once it's assembled beyond a certain point, the rest of the components of this printer are made with this printer.
So it can build itself.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. And but he actually built the 3D printer with another 3D printer. This is the controller box for it. It is a Raspberry Pi. And the box that the Pi is in, can you guess? It was made with a 3D printer, with this printer. And he made these 3D ARRL logos with dual filaments. Absolutely fascinating. I spent like 20 minutes looking at this thing and having him tell me how he put this together. And there are plans online and places you can get the metal parts and the files it takes to print the other parts. And so you can go somewhere where you have the use of a 3D printer and you can make a 3D printer. Mm-hmm. How about that for a big antenna tuner? It's a 1 kW tuner.
Yeah.
Now, we'll go a week later to Lincoln, Nebraska. And there's our 3 greeters there ready to check you into our Hamfest. This is the Lincoln Hamfest held at the Lancaster Event Center, which is less than a mile from my house. So I was pretty well Hamfested out at the end of April. It's a nice Hamfest. We had about 350 people show up this year. It is a great local Hamfest. We have had as many as 600. This is the first year we've held it in April. And so we're kind of worried that it cut down the attendance, and it did. However, the radio dealers and all the flea market vendors said that they sold more than they have ever sold before, even though the crowd was down. So hopefully more people will come next year to our local Hamfest. Like I said, this is a year of adjustment because we moved it over a month later. Lots of vendors, lots of neat stuff. Raspberry Pi things, all sorts of good stuff. How about that for an interesting looking transoceanic? And in the background you can see the WB0W truck parked indoors. Yes, we have enough room that he actually parks his truck inside. Lots of unusual tubes. I haven't quite figured out what that tube does, but it's got 2 wires that hang out of it that are flexible. So I'll have to find out what that does. And at the end of the Hamfest, towards the end of the Hamfest, the guy next to me is our Nebraska section manager. That's Matt Anderson, K0BOJ. I was his Elmer back when he was 14 years old. He awarded me the Skip Miller W0KVM Lifetime Achievement Award for my achievements in amateur radio. He gives out Ham of the Year awards and other special awards, but this one is kind of a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm still alive. How about that, Tom?
Wow, that's cool, winning that award there.
Yeah, so that was it. And so we're done with the slideshow. And we'll close that off. And let's see if we can get me back. How about that?
Yeah, you're back. There you go. Well, man, Joe, wow. you must not worked any during the last couple months at all those hamfests you attended.
There was a lot. That was a big travel time for me. And of course, for the last 3 weeks or so, I haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so
Well, that's so
it
cool.
was-
Hey, Joe, let's see. It's we've been right about an hour. I'm going to open the phone line up, see if anybody wants to say hello to you or to me. Of course, if you need to run, you can go. But if you want to
Nope,
stick around
I'm
a
just
minute,
fine. I'm not anxiously awaiting our
not in a
local
hurry tonight,
election
right?
returns.
So I put the phone number at the top of the screen. It's 901-286-1116. So give us a call, say hello to Joe, or ask a question to Joe or me. And we'll take a couple calls here, and then we'll do hangout here in just a few minutes. I've been reading the chat room, very interesting, and people are talking about they're already packing for Dayton. You know, this is our 34th or 35th year, Joe, and we used to start packing and staging equipment a month before Dayton because we carry so much stuff. But I've got so much going on personally right now. I haven't even started yet. We've got a niece that's graduating from Ole Miss. We got a big party here this weekend. We got family members coming in to stay. They'll probably be out of here Monday, so I have Tuesday to pack, and we leave Wednesday. Just it's going to be a rush trip.
Yeah, but we really look forward to seeing you and really appreciate all the hard work you do. And I'll try and give a 5 or 10 minute spiel while I'm at Dayton and at least make a couple of visits to the booth and get at least a couple of pictures of your operation, especially with the astronaut.
All right, very good. Who we have on the phone?
Hi, Tom. Russ.
Hey, Russ.
KK0BK. Can Joe hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Joe. I was just wondering, Nebraska QSO party was last week. Is that correct? Last weekend?
It was a couple weeks ago.
Okay, a couple weeks. I never heard a single Nebraska station. Did that work out pretty well for everyone, or was it just me that couldn't hear?
Well, there were several people on, I know that. And I didn't get on because I was in Des Moines, not Des Moines, I was in Kansas City, I think, during that. And so I did not get home in time to do it on Saturday. And then Sunday, I had something else going on, and so I didn't get a chance to. But I'm going to try and make a double effort next year to be on, because with my call sign, everybody knows I'm in Nebraska.
Well, that's what I thought too, and I saw you on the show before, so I'm listening for Nebraska. In fact, Nebraska, and I'm over in Iowa, almost Illinois and Wisconsin, right on the border there in Dubuque. But I used to live over in Red Oak, which is only about 50 miles from Omaha, and so Nebraska is almost my stomping grounds too. But I thought, I wonder if Joe would be on, but I couldn't hear a single person in Nebraska, so I just wondered if bands were really bad. But
yeah, they were, but there were guys that were on.
That.
I don't think
and
we had record scores this year, but
that was awesome. That was better almost than being at Hamfest.
But yeah, I'm hoping to get on next year during our Nebraska QSO party.
Okay, Joe. Well, we'll let you go. Let room for somebody else. Thanks, Tom, for having me tonight. 7-3 to both of you, and we'll talk at you later.
Yeah.
KC0BK.
Yeah, Russ, thanks for calling. And we'll stand by for another call, 901-286-1116. Question in the chat room. Yes, we are streaming our drive on the 18th. That's Wednesday. We'll be streaming for 10 hours, the drive going to Dayton. You can follow us and watch us drive, or whether we're in rain, snow, sleet, police pulling us over, who knows what. So it's always interesting. Get on there, get in the chat room, say hi to us. We will have APRS running again this year. You should be able to track our position. I've got a link on the website right above the video that says APRS, our location. You can click there. Just want to mention, make an announcement here on WBCQ. the Planet shortwave radio station out of Monticello, Maine. And we would like to invite all of our shortwave listeners to come over to w5kub.com if they have internet there and join us. Everybody, please again join our Facebook. There's a Facebook icon at the bottom of the page you can click on. You can join our Facebook broadcast group. List of donors. We don't have a list of donors. A lot of people are asking to be anonymous, and we just haven't made a list yet. Again, for those tuning in late, we've got about 60 prizes to give out to our viewers. You do not have to donate to win a prize. We're setting aside one prize, the CAA 500 Mark II. It's the upgrade from this one. It's a great antenna analyzer. For each $10 a person donates between April 2nd and May 21st midnight, we'll put your name in a hat for every $10. So, if you put $100 in there, we're going to put your name in there 10 times. Put $1,000 in there, we'll put your name in there 100 times. But put your name in there either once or twice, and you still have a good chance to win there.
And by the way, I know the obvious question is probably going to be asked, did I win anything? Yes, at Houston, I won an antenna analyzer, and nothing for then the following 3 hamfests. And then in Lincoln, I think I got like a $25 ARRL certificate. So I'm in a dry spell, Tom. Maybe I'll do better at Dayton.
What antenna analyzer did you win?
The MFJ 269C.
Oh, okay. The 269C.
Yeah, that's the one that goes from 530 kilohertz up to UHF.
Maybe this is something like this. I don't know if this is this is the 269C right there.
Yep, that's the one. That's exactly the one.
That's a cool antenna analyzer too, man. Congratulations.
Yep, I'm going to pick up the case and the batteries and stuff for it at Dayton from MFJ.
Oh, cool. And on that antenna analyzer prize, we're going to draw a name around noontime on Sunday at Hamvention. You do not have to be present to win, so don't worry about claiming the prize or anything like that. We'll pull your name out of a hat around noontime, plus or minus a little bit, and we'll run you down. Actually, Mick Stornick at NCG company will be shipping that out to you directly from California. Let's see. I think we're going to probably do a rerun show the 17th. That's next Tuesday night. And I'm a little worried about the show on the next one, the Tuesday after Dayton, because Kathy and I are discussing possibly staying an extra day in Dayton just so we won't have to drive, 10 hours late Sunday night after a long weekend at Hamvention. So if that's the case, I'd get back late Monday night and then have a show Tuesday. And of course, all our gear is going to be torn down and I'm going to have to put it all back together. So I need to find somebody that can maybe do a show and I can kind of get them up to speed, and we'll do something for sure. But I guess
I will be flying back on Sunday night, and of course if I bump, maybe on Monday. As you know, I like to volunteer on those. I know you had me scheduled for maybe that Tuesday, but I'd be glad to wait a week because that will give me enough time to put together the slideshow, because it usually takes me a couple of days or so to put together the musical slideshow. And this year's song is Turn Up the Radio.
Okay, stand by. We got somebody on the phone. He's been on here probably for a couple minutes. Who we got on the phone?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Cliff from Dayton, Ohio. How you guys doing tonight? KAA Garden and Vegetables.
Garden and Vegetables, KAA, Cliff and Dayton.
Hi, Cliff.
Yeah, GOV. Yeah, how you doing, Joe?
All right, look forward to seeing you in Dayton.
So Cliff.
Look forward to you, too.
Cliff, what's the weather? What's the weather going to be like up there?
Well, hopefully it's going to be nice. We're hoping for nice weather. They're expecting some severe storms tonight, overnight, but hopefully it won't be too rough. I got a question for you, Tom. On
Sure.
your background, what city is that on your background there? Is that the city of Memphis, or is that another town?
Well, let's just look at this. Maybe we ought to have a contest. I don't know. So the question is, what background is this right here? What studio am I in tonight? We're in Studio 6, but I can't tell you what city I'm in. So you're going to have to guess. So anybody in the chat room that can guess what city I'm in, let us know. Cliff is up in Dayton, and he's wanting to know.
Okay. All right. So that's top secret. Okay.
Well, I just don't know, Cliff. I would tell you if I knew.
That's all right. Well, we're looking forward on seeing you guys in Dayton and everything, and we're waiting for you to show up. And I might follow you on your trip to Dayton. There, I do that once a year anyway. Watch you come from Dayton.
Sure. Okay, Cliff. Yeah, be sure to tune in. Give us a call. Check the chat room. Or whatever. That keeps us awake and driving.
And Tom, when you're leaving at about 8 in the morning or so, I will be too, except I'll be flying around that time.
All right.
Okay. Well, I want to let you go so that way other people can talk to you.
All right. Thanks, thanks, Cliff. 73.
Okay.
All right. The phone number. We'll take maybe one more call. 901-286-1116. 901-286-1116. If you're a shortwave listener, give us a call. Love to hear from you. Yeah, that's not Memphis for sure.
It's certainly not Lincoln, Nebraska.
No. Kurt's saying it could be Chicago.
It doesn't look like Chicago to me.
I don't know. I think
I've got aerial pictures of Chicago, and I don't think that's
it. The key should be this little gold dome building right here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out where that is.
Yeah.
No other calls?
Okay, the last call for a call, 901-286-1116. And if we don't get anybody on here, we'll just go ahead and open it up for Hangout a little early tonight. And we'll see who can check in on Hangout. Hangout is where we send out a link, and you click on it, and you can join us on video and audio and be on the show. And we can have up to 10 people at one time there. Okay, well, Joe, thanks very much for it was a great presentation tonight. And I'd forgot, but yeah, after Dayton, we do have you kind of on the books to do some slideshows and some pictures, and of course I'll probably get some pictures too. Of course it's more difficult for us, but maybe the Tuesday after Dayton we can have a recap of Dayton.
Well, let's do it a week later, so that'll give you a chance to recuperate as well.
Yeah, okay, and like I said, it's going to be pushing it, depending on our schedule, it's going to be pushing it to whether we have a show that Tuesday night or not. Okay, well, Joe, I'm going to hang you up, Joe, on here, and I'm going to open up Hangout for people to join us on Hangout. And Joe, you're welcome to join Hangout.
All right, well, thank you very much, Tom. Glad to always appear on your show.
Thanks, it was great. 73. All right, so let me, okay, Kathy has put the link out for Hangout. If you click on that link, you should be able to join the show. I'm going to try to get on here. Again, folks, we're going to have astronaut Doug Wheelock with us Friday afternoon and Saturday. Doug will be with us as our co-host again, and hopefully that will be something interesting for you to talk to Doug and get his autograph and a picture made with him. I've got some noise here. I'm on Hangout now. Let's see.
Okay, who's got their?
There we go.
Hello there.
There's Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
How are you?
I can't. Let's see. And of course, Hangout has updated again, so I see no names across there. I'm going to revert back to the old one. So I'm going back to the original version. Hopefully they didn't lose me. All right. So, okay, I've got names.
Mike, is that your side? You got a lot of noise on there.
I am muted here. I have no noise at all.
Well, let's see.
Maybe it's just a microphone.
Maybe the noise will clear up. Yeah, NE4RD. Howdy, William, out there.
Howdy.
Is it getting cold again? It looks like you got the garage door closed.
The garage door is open and it is cold. It's about 37 degrees.
No.
There's Doc.
Yeah, Doc's in here. Okay, Doc made it.
Good evening.
Hey, Doc, let me tell you, your recommendations aren't doing good because I am still not doing good. It's been 3 weeks, Doc. 4 weeks. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, Doc. Any suggestions?
What are your symptoms?
Well, Doc, right now it seems like my chest. I'm coughing a lot, and I'm coughing, and my chest kind of hurts a little. And when I cough, it feels like something moist is coming up. What is that? Pneumonia?
Yeah.
Is that pneumonia?
Well, maybe you need a little antibiotic or something. Maybe if you've if you played this as long as you have, maybe sometimes those things do take 4 to 6 weeks to completely resolve. So.
Well, I've got the cough button here on the mic. So anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna see tomorrow. I'm gonna tell this doctor. I don't know how doctors feel about their patients telling them what they want, but I want some antibiotics.
I think you need a cigar.
I think so too. I was going to suggest that.
I want some antibiotics. I've tried Mucinex. That's in the chat room. Chris said try Mucinex. I've been on all kinds of stuff, but I want a prescription for some antibiotics, and I want them to stab me in the hip with an antibiotic too. I want it to start working fast. I'm getting tired of this.
You see, Doc and I are never sick because we smoke cigars, so.
Yeah.
That's right.
The ultimate cure-all.
Now, Doc,
I've had that stuff for as long as 6 weeks, Tom.
Yeah.
It just wears you out, though. You're right.
I've had it about 4. I've had this before. A few years ago, it lasted a month, but now AC5CM in the chat room says, and 64 ounces of water per day. Now Doc, you told me you told me you had somebody who was drinking too much water, and you told them to cut back, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I just went through that. It took me about 6 weeks before some of these hangouts I was coughing away not too long ago. It just got to run its course.
Well, I hope it runs its course. I pressure wash, and I'm kind of tired too. I pressure washed all over this house about 4 or 5 hours today, and then some yesterday. But I didn't hardly cough while I was working. And when I got through working, then I started coughing again.
You can vibrate all that stuff loose.
I guess.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go like that, for weeks at a time, but it's bothers me mostly at night.
Yeah.
This is the medical channel, right?
Yeah, mine would stop at night because I put my CPAP on, and then I stopped the coughing.
That CPAP's wonderful.
Yeah, for all of our listeners out there on shortwave and our viewers, this is the unofficial, or this is the official Sit Around the Coffee Table talk. We've got Doc here smoking a cigar. We've got William out there smoking a cigar. We got Jeffrey up in New Jersey, and Mike up in the he's up in Wisconsin.
Can't never remember where I am.
Michigan, right? I don't know. Whatever the state is, it's shaped like your hand. That's Michigan, right?
Yeah, but except you need the other part because I'm in the Upper Peninsula.
Oh, you're up here, right? Did I get that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're up here. Man, you are up here.
Oh, the cold part.
Tom?
Yeah.
In Scouts, we call this kind of get together a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
we call it a Cracker Barrel. That's when you sit around. All the boys are tucked in, and the adults go sit around and drink coffee and chit chat, and maybe have a few cheese and crackers and things. And we called it a Cracker Barrel.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, our snow is finally gone. I actually cut my grass for the first time today. So.
Well, I need to cut my grass. Hey, we've got Walter in here. Walter, this is my pilot friend from down the street. Walter, are you home or are you flying somewhere this week?
I'm sitting in the kitchen tonight.
In the kitchen, huh? Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You got any flying stories this week? Any close calls or crash landings or anything?
No, not really. It's been pretty calm.
What's the story on all these air turbulence things? It seems like every day there's a new one on the news.
They're called cell phones with cameras.
So Walter, Doc,
I'm at home tonight.
Doc is asking about all these turbulence here being reported lately. You experienced any?
You need to tell. No, the only close call was I had to go get a physical since Doc never mailed me one.
Oh well.
I never got the $1,000 you promised me. So.
That's right.
What am I going to do at Dayton this year?
I tell you, Walter, I wouldn't count on getting that physical letter from Doc. He hadn't fixed my cold yet. I've been working on it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've been through severe turbulence. It's pretty rough. It's not a lot of fun.
Oh, hey, what I was saying while ago, I didn't get to the point for our shortwave listeners. They probably wonder what's going on here. This is kind of the sit around the coffee table. We got about 10 people in here, and we talk about anything and everything. Hey, if anybody wants to join us on the phone, you can call in 901-286-1116.
It's not looking good, is it?
What's not looking good?
Yes. I don't know what it is with the audio, but I'm hearing everybody talk at once on a huge delay.
Oh, are you?
Why don't you go out of the room and come back in? Well, I mean, that's what I would try.
Yeah, Walter, hang up and come back in, Walter. Oh, let's see. What was that noise? Oh, my phone just dinged. I got so many noises around here, I don't know what it is. All right, well, Jeff, we're going to be seeing you in about a week. Who else? Yes, Doc, we'll see you in a week.
I'll be there.
And Mike, you going to be up there? Are you going to Dayton, Mike? Oh, Mike, your mic is muted, Mike.
Unmute yourself there, Mike.
Mike is muted. Well, there he goes. Mike, no, he's not. There you go.
Here I am muted.
So, Mike, are you going to be up here with us in about a week?
No, I won't be there, but I'll be here in the UP in Michigan watching you, waiting for Hambach to call my name.
Well, you'll probably win more prizes here than if you went up there, for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I've been to Dayton 3 times. I don't know when I'll go back again. That was kind of enough for me for a while.
All right. Russ says Doc needs a blue light next week. What's the blue light? What's that for? A blue light. Like a blue light special at Kmart? Or?
Blue light special, yeah, maybe at Kmart, or Walmart, or wherever it is. Kmart, I guess it was.
Well, they probably don't realize you're sitting in your car.
Yeah, I need a better illumination here. I may have to get me some LED strips or something. So.
Well, Doc, just for backup, bring your bag with you. I'm counting on tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday. We leave on Wednesday. That gives me 7 days to get well, and if they can pump me with some antibiotics, I should do good. But if I don't do good with the antibiotics, I want you to be prepared to bring something heavier.
Well, I've got a friend that's got some homemade moonshine, so we'll see. Maybe that'll kill those germs off,
Well, maybe.
Oh, they're saying they're getting tired of seeing you so red there, Don.
I'm using the map light in my car, so and I guess I could turn turn on the dome light, but
It didn't help a lot. Yeah. Well, it just looks like you got a nice sunburn. I mean, Doc's sitting in his car. He has to smoke his cigar out in his car every night. So, that's where he
banished
is.
to the car.
Is what?
I've been banished to the car.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really not this red, but I do have a red complexion, I guess, because I have freckles. But
Moonshine cherries. Jill says she can bring some moonshine cherries.
So bring it all.
Well, cherries taste pretty good. I guess that might not be too bad to snack on.
Yeah, how many can you snack on?
I don't know. I mean, bring me a gallon of them.
That'll make the show real interesting.
I started to say that may be one of those for the ages.
Well, what we'll do is, hey, if those cherries are good, what we'll do is I'll eat those cherries, and Doc, you gonna be there, and
Yeah, you'll be at the end of the show when you do your
you can do it.
singing and stuff after eating all those. It'll be
And
really
Jeffrey would be there. One of you guys can take over.
Tom will now entertain us with some oldies but goodies and sing along. So
Yeah. All right. No takers on the phone, 901-286-1116. Or you can click on the link in the chat room and join us. If I can find that link again.
I was trying to drum up some business for your fundraiser tonight. I don't know if how that worked out, but
Well, I saw you there pushing it. Thank you.
I was pounding the chat room for you. That's important. I mean,
Well, we've got some. I'll just say this: there's been some very generous people that have donated, and I want to thank everybody. I tried to send a bunch of letters out last week. Sometimes we get a little behind on our letters, but I'd like to send everybody a personal letter. But we've had some generous donations, and we really appreciate the support. It is expensive to put on. We've been doing this we've been webcasting at Dayton for 13 years, 14 years, and mainly it's been out of our own pocket. And things have just started to get more and more expensive. For instance, last year or the year before, I was able to get, the internet at no cost. I had a deal with Exceed and no cost, but this year the internet's costing us $700. And, the hotel is high, and I've got to cover my helper's room, and we go up there and do the show for everybody. We don't shop around or look around, and we work pretty hard. We're doing the webcast 100% of the time from when we get there till the end of the day.
Well, I made a small donation. I wish it could have been more, but
well, thank you. I saw it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Everything helps. Gene is saying, what about just a hangout next week after Dayton? That's fine. Hangout is available. This link for Hangout is there it's on every night, anytime. We use the same Hangout link every time. It's in the topic of the chat room, so if you don't remember it, just go up to the topic of the chat room and you'll see the link. You can copy that link and you can join the Hangout. In fact, I was going to try to copy it and post it again, if I can find it. Let's see. Well, I know I can find it. Let's see. It's at the top of the chat room. There we go.
Remember it. Just go up to the topic of the chat room and you'll see the link. You can copy that link and you can join Hangout. In fact, I was going to try to copy it and post it again.
Hey, Jill. You're repeating me, Jill.
Well, I know I can find it. Let's see. It's at the top of the chat room.
Kill the webcast, Jill.
Hello, Jill. Jill made it. Look at there. Jill made it. Hi, Jill.
Hello.
Hey, Jill, you need to turn down the webcast. Or
on
mute.
the website. There you go.
There you go. We were getting it back.
How's that?
It's good. Well, thank you. Hey, this is the first time you've been on Hangout.
Hello, Jill.
No.
Jill made it. Look at there. Jill made it.
No, wait a minute. I think that's still coming from Jill.
Turn down. Turn down.
Yeah, Jill. Hey, Jill,
Yeah, you
go
gotta
to
go to the web page that the original show is on and mute it.
yeah, mute the video on w5kub.com.
It's good. Well, thank you. Hey, this is the first time you've been on.
Well, we're still hearing it.
No, it's not. I can hear you.
All right. This happens to first-time people sometimes. Jill, listen to my instructions, Jill. Go to the W5KUB video page and mute the video. Mute the video. She's gone now. I ran her away.
Well, she can probably still hear you because she has the video running.
Where's Teresa?
Oh, yeah, she could.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh,
There's Teresa.
oh, Teresa's in here now. Down in what, Texas?
That's me.
All right. Face rig.
Face rig.
What is face rig?
It's a program that I can use and set up with my webcam, and it looks at my face, and as I'm talking, it has like a animated dog or rabbit or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's a talking dog or rabbit or cat or whatever animal I pick instead of me.
Well, turn it on.
Oh, shit. I'd have to...
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead.
I've got my
I'm
webcam, and I can do that, I think.
I'm going to go ahead and turn our audio off to WBCQ. We've been on about an hour and a half, and I'd just like to thank all of our shortwave listeners on WBCQ 5130. Thanks for listening tonight. Send us an email, tom@w5kub.com. Let us know where you are and how you heard us tonight. So we're going off the air on shortwave. There we go. We're off now.
Yep.
Did it go off? Somebody listening?
Yeah. Probably.
All right. Well, it should have went off. Well, I don't know if Robert turned us off, but I turned the audio off, so that pretty much, I'm pretty sure it killed it there.
Well, there's Jill. She's got her camera up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Jill.
There.
Hello.
Well, welcome, Jill. Thanks for joining us on Facebook. Not Facebook. I'm losing my mind, Doc. Doc, I said Facebook. I think whatever this is starting to affect my brain.
You mean Hangout?
Yeah, I'm in Hangout. Gee.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
You must have taken a direct hit from that pressure washer today.
No, it was probably that swig of codeine I took right before the show.
Yeah, make you see double and feel single.
I took it about 30 minutes before the show. I figured, well, maybe that'll help a little on my cough.
I like that, Doc.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Tom.
Yeah.
I have moonshine cherries sitting right here in front of me.
What is that? What green? I mean, green. I was going to say.
What the doctor ordered.
Oh man, Doc. I was going to say green cherries. What's happening, Doc?
What the doctor ordered right there.
Moonshine.
These are blackberry moonshine cherries.
Blackberry. I don't do blackberry.
And this is the cinnamon moonshine cherries.
All right. Well,
you need to bring a couple of those jars over to the booth at Dayton. Coming to Dayton, Jill?
Oh yes, I only live 2 hours away.
Well, that's good.
she's going to be there. In fact,
So yeah, I'll bring a couple jars.
there's the.
What I showed you, those go to WA2JSG. Those are his.
Yeah, there's a Facebook group called gee, Doc, I'm losing it, man. There's a Facebook group called Dayton Hamvention, and all the people on there, they're going to meet at our booth. At 2:00 on Saturday? Is that right, Jill?
Yes,
All
that's your
right.
booth.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We ought to have a big crowd there. Doug should be there with a big long line signing autographs about the same time. So between him and everybody from Facebook, gathering. We already have about half the hamfest there.
Looks like Bill just joined, but you need to lower your camera, Bill. We can only see your hat. There you go. That's better. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to go to bed. It's getting past my bedtime. We'll see you next week, guys.
Well, all right. We'll see you come by when you get there.
Well, you know that.
Yeah, man.
See you Thursday.
All right. Good night.
All right.
Good night, Jeff.
Good night, Jeff.
Yeah, we'll see y'all at Dayton.
So we got Bill. Bill's in there. Hey, Bill, how you doing? I'm not hearing Bill. Maybe he don't want to talk. Bill? You know sign language, Bill?
He's looking at us. He's looking at us.
He's eating. 901-286-1116 if you don't have a camera and you want to call us. 901-286-1116. Yeah, we're running real early on the show tonight. We usually don't even get to hang out till about this time.
Did you get the tree off your house?
Yeah, I did. Brought the professionals in and brought a 18-ton crane in the backyard and a bucket truck, and yeah, they lifted that sucker up and got it all cut up. And,
you should have put your tower up while you had that crane there.
Yeah, I could have done that.
That would have been good.
I could have done that. That crane would have done it. I tell you, that was a 36,000-pound crane, and I think he was a little worried lifting that tree back here. That was on that building. I think it might have been pushing the limits. I don't know. But anyway, we got it all cut up, and I had him take another tree out. And,
you got some firewood to keep the one doing it.
You could have put that tower. You could have assembled that tower on the ground and just had them pick it right up and set it right down. So.
Well, the last tower I had over my other home when I lived over in Arkansas, I think I had 45 feet, and we put it together all in one piece, and we dug the hole for the base, and I had an upstairs window. We put a rope through that window, and we got people in the bottom, and we pulled on that rope. We stood that tower up, bracketed it off to the peak of the house, and put concrete around it. But that was probably about as tall as you'd be able to do manually, without a crane or something.
That's what I did here. I think I stood up about 40 feet of it.
Yeah.
And I've got mine bracketed to the house too.
Yeah, I mean it was, the peak, the peak of the 2-story, but on the back side back here, I just put me a steel plate across there, leaned that tower right up against it, U-bolted it to it, concrete at the bottom. I think 45 feet, and I mean that thing, it didn't need guy wires, it was solid.
Yeah, I never had a tower. I got a 10-foot tripod on the roof of my garage with a mass pipe and my tri-bander and stuff on top of that, and that's worked out fine for me. Never needed a tower.
After
I think mine's about 45 or 50 feet.
Yeah,
mine's bracketed to the house like that.
I moved to Memphis. I didn't put a tower up. I could have put one up at the other house. They allow 10 feet above the roof, and my roof was probably 40 feet over there. I mean, I could have put the same tower back up, but I didn't. But I just decided to use a wire antenna. I got so many different wire antennas I enjoy playing with, and I can talk about anybody on my wire that I could my beam.
It helps on 6 meters in places like that.
Yeah. Yep. I've been looking.
I've got a Squalo I bought down at Dalton, and I'm going to get some LMR 400 and put it up on a mast that I have out back here, and hopefully get on 6 meters before the summer propagation goes away.
Well, that LMR 400 is some good cable. In fact, Doc, be sure and sign in maybe Hambot and pick you during Hamfest. We're giving away 250 foot of LMR 400.
Good. Put my name on that one.
All right.
Can you hear me now, Tom?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Test one.
Yes.
All right, test 1, 2, 3. Yeah, for some reason the microphone was off.
Yeah, well, we hear you fine. I heard you eating something. I don't know what that was.
Oh, it was one of them chocolate rice patties there.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like a rice patty. Yeah, that's what it was. I heard you chewing on it.
Yeah, it was a rice patty, and I'll tell you, I had to munch it very quietly.
I thought somebody had let go of a bunch of lady fingers or something, and
Well, we must be getting boring because not much going. Wait a minute. I was going to say not much going on in the chat room, but I've been scrolled about halfway up. No telling what they're saying about us. Let me go down.
Nobody's had other than your cold. Nobody's had any other medical problems.
Man, I missed
procedures.
Yeah, there it goes in there. Let's see. Yeah, I have to catch up here. I was behind. Marty chicken with fries. Marty's been watching. I forget Marty's call. I think he's a one? He's a 1. Chicken with fries. I know the last part. Let's see.
It's KC1. King Charlie
KC1.
1.
Yeah, chicken with fries. Let's see. Question is, couldn't I do more with a gen pole? Well, yeah. I mean, I had 80 or 90 feet up when I used a gen pole. You almost need to do that. Use a gen pole to put some up that high.
I had 100 feet at my first house here in Cleveland, but when I moved into town, my wife says there's not going to be any guy wires. So that sort of made the decision for me to bracket it on the house.
But, I liked it better. It was cleaner. I mean, guy wires get in the way of, your inverted V's and stuff. I mean, yeah. Boy, when I had that 80 or 90 feet up, I had it guyed so much. I had so many antennas hanging off of it. And I had microwave dishes on it. And, a bird couldn't fly through my yard. I mean, it was bad. I concede it. Even to me, it looked ugly.
Well, I have no guy wires, but I have a multi-band dipole that I use for anything other than my tri-bander.
Yeah, I just got that 10-foot tripod up, and then I got a 1-level ranch home. It's bolted to my garage roof up there. It's been up there 30 years, and I got 4 guy wires going to 4 points of to the garage right off the bottom of the rotor. Tri-bander, vertical 2-meter and a little 2-meter beam, and then a vertical dual bander on top, and that's.
I always thought it was going to fall. I mean, we get a lot of wind. In the wintertime, I'd hear those coax cables coming down, going clang, 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 clang when the wind blowing. I just knew that stuff's going to come apart. You got hit by lightning several times. I mean, it really, did a lot. So I don't know. Let's see, Delta's lit in there. Delta is the owner of the chat room, and that we're using. Say hello to Delta there, and we want to invite everybody to use the chat room for ham radio, for computers, for electronics, whatever you want to use it for. Use it during the day, use it during the night. You don't have to wait till the show on Tuesday night. So we're looking to build up some activity on there. And Delta.
Hello, Delta.
Delta, get ready, Delta. This is going to be a test for Delta in his chat room. We've had as many as 1,500 people in the chat room at one time.
Wow.
During Dayton. 1,500 people.
Well, as long as I win, it doesn't matter.
In the chat room.
Come on, wait, not so many. That's cutting my odds way down. No, not good.
I don't know what happened last year. I think last year we were running about 500 or 600 in the chat room, but previous years, it was easy to run 1,200 in there, and we even went above that.
No. Yeah.
I won something one time, and I can't remember what it was.
Speaker or something? No?
remember. I actually don't remember what it was. It might have been a speaker.
Was it an
I don't
MFJ
think
product?
It
You think it was an MFJ product?
Don't remember.
Okay.
Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I used to try to watch it on my cell phone while I was at Dayton, but I kept losing the connection, and it was too much of a distraction anyway when I was walking around the flea market.
Yeah, you ought to get you some of those Google glasses that you can wear.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think you can actually watch the show while you're walking around there.
Look like Mr. Magoo or something.
Yeah, well, I've got a Hamfriend is actually testing those Google glasses. He came by last year and gave us a little demo on them.
Well, you can sit and watch it and get in a Google car that'll drive itself, and then you can have the Google glasses on and watch the.
I guess instead of Mr. Magoo, I'll be Mr. Magoogle.
Yeah. All right, Doc, right there. There we go. Those things I don't think help a bit. But people still buy them.
Is that one of those cherries?
Yeah. What is this? Are you guys still there? Sky.
Yeah, we're still here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Something popped up on my screen here. You can see it.
Yeah, it's something from Skype.
I had it at. Maybe I bumped the mouse or something. I don't know. I only got 4 mouses here on the desk, so. And I coughed really big, so I probably jarred one.
Yeah, you guys talking about not knowing what's going on. I got a letter from the doctor the other day that nobody else wanted.
What is that?
My turn. Or you know what?
Ah.
Yeah, I didn't even talk to him. All of a sudden it came in the mail like it's a gift card. Come on in. We want to see you.
Well, the doctor's giving out gift cards?
Yeah.
I can tell you that stuff that they give you to drink, if you take the lemonade stuff there, that's the dry powdered lemonade there and the sticks there that you buy in the store, and dump that in there, it'll taste a little bit better going down.
Yeah, I've been through a couple.
Mike, I just wondered, is that one of those cards that you have to swipe?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I ain't even call my doctor because I don't even know who scheduled this for me. I didn't even talk to my doctor, so I guess someone registered must said it's time.
Well, I'm due for one right now. I've been on the actually the last few years, last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I've been on the every 2-year plan. But I've been 3 years now. I think I need to get it now, and then they told me I can probably go to the 5-year, but I need to get one.
Well, you just got a few more years to go, Tom, because we usually stop those things at 75. But
is that right?
Sometimes we'll go past it if there's a real high incidence.
Wow.
Well, in other words, I got a few more years they can do this to me yet.
So that makes you feel really good, man, about getting old, man. Hurry up, man.
Yeah, I think I'm due next year.
You just take care of it yourself?
Oh yeah.
So Doc, why can't you just do an MRI? I know that'll show stuff.
It's just not as good. I mean, there's nothing like looking right at it rather than looking at an image of it. So, I mean, the video is as good as what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and I guess if something's there, I mean, you can't take care of it with an MRI. So.
Well, that's right. You know, if they find something, then you're going to have to go back and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, the video is better because you're still sitting in that dark car. When they give you that picture after, your innards are all lit up.
Yeah.
I wanted them to frame it so I could put it on my coffee table, but they wouldn't do it. But
Hey Doc, I want you get one of those videos. I know they record it. Get one of those videos. We'll run it and hang out here one night.
That's a good idea. Who is this? Name this ham.
Yeah.
Do you know this guy?
Put you on a milk carton. Have you seen me? I'm lost.
What's happened to Teresa? I just see a T in there. I thought she was going to do some of her.
Yeah, I can't get it to work.
Oh, well.
Well, you can still talk.
I wonder, is there a slash across your camera?
No.
Huh. Would you push the camera button to see if it works?
Teresa, do this. You probably got another program that's got the camera captured, so you might, if you got another program, you might have to stop it. But go up to, have you gone up to the settings, and then you can select different cameras, see if the right camera.
I've tried doing all that, and
yeah. I know sometimes, like if Skype or something's open, sometimes like if I have Skype on or something, it captures the camera and it won't let me use it in Hangout.
Yeah, I had a problem the last couple times I tried to get in. I couldn't get in on my computer like I am right now. I had to use my mini iPad. It wouldn't load up. And tonight I pasted it over in there and clicked on it, and it works. So yeah, I don't know with these computers sometimes.
Well, that's cool. Well, guys, I probably are thinking about going to get me a peanut butter sandwich or something. I'm getting hungry.
You got any weather coming in, Tom?
I don't.
I think it was rain.
I don't think so. We had a little rain the last couple of days.
Well, we could use the rain up here. It's dry. We haven't had rain. Speak of, I cut my grass today and it was just dry. So we need some rain up here.
You might get a little snow.
Looks like they got some weather down around Dallas, but I don't see anything east of there.
Chat room says storms Thursday, so we may have some a chance of some storms maybe Thursday here. I think the weekend's gonna be good.
Well, I hope we have decent weather for Dayton. You know, we've had every kind of weather possible up there.
I'll tell you, Doc, 35 years have been going. I can remember 31 out of the 35, it's always rained. It's always rained at least one day. Sometimes.
Well, it's just the time of the year, I guess. At least it's not as bad as it was back when they had it in April. I remember having.
Oh, and back when it was a month earlier, that was even worse.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we were, man, it was so cold up there. I mean, we'd carry so many winter clothes with us, and I remember one year we were stuffing newspapers in our jackets trying to stay warm up there.
Oh, you poor Southern boys! I feel sorry for you.
Hey, we're a bunch of wusses. What can I say?
Man, I bet you it got down to probably in the 40s.
40s, that's short weather. Get the
I
the
got
flip flops
nothing on
and the shorts.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, April was bad.
The problem when it gets really wet out there is that everybody wants to come inside, and some of those guys hadn't had a bath in about a year, I think.
Well, it starts getting a little. They haven't
discovered deodorant yet.
It starts getting a little steamy, you know, and the steam and all that, and it does kind of emphasize the aroma there.
Yeah. Yep, I experienced that one year when I was there. It did rain. It came down pretty good, so I headed inside, and I just found myself in the main arena and went up into the bleachers up there somewhere and falling the seat out of the way.
Then you get to breathe in all the,
I think the weather has been a little better in May instead of April. I mean, it was cold. I mean, I still remember spitting snow, but hey, I've been up there.
Like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it sleeted.
Yeah. I took a picture of it, and in the sleet. It always leaves rain, flooded, wind blew. I mean, people's tents next to us, they'd actually go in the air, and they would fall two rows over where they'd come down if you didn't fasten it to the ground. And they got a rule up there: $50 for every hole you put in the asphalt. But that never stopped anybody. I don't know if anybody.
There you go, Teresa.
There she is. Oh, I like that.
That's what you need, Tom, right there.
I need that. That.
Do the whole show like that. That'd freak people out.
Teresa, talk to me. Is that is that a free program? Do you buy that program? Tell me, what is it?
When I got it, it was in beta, so it was free. Now it's a pay-for program through Steam or Valve or both. I'm not really sure which is the main one. But it's
that would be
like $12 or something like that, and you can get a whole bunch of other downloadable content to go with it to use a whole bunch of different avatars.
Oh man, hey, send me an email.
You could have one for Hambot. Have a little little tower on its head or something.
So Teresa, if I had two people in front of the camera, would it do that to both people?
I don't think so. I don't think its facial recognition technology is quite that advanced, but it's been a while since I've played with it, so it might.
That's
Well, it's the best face looking at the group I've seen so far tonight.
I'd have to agree.
Send me an email, Teresa. Send me an email, tom@w5kub.com. The name of that. I might just have to try that.
Okay.
I like it when it smiles and everything, man. Those eyes rolling around, ears. That's cool.
And you can change it. I don't know if I can change it while it's broadcasting.
Yeah,
there.
you did. Wow. That is
Crazy
cool.
cat.
And there's some of them that if you stick your tongue out at somebody, the avatar will do it too.
Oh, really?
Well,
it's following your mouth right there, I guess.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Let me see if you. Yeah, it's following your eyes and everything. Yeah.
That's cool.
All right.
I'm gonna get
what if you could use that with the green screen, Tom?
Well, yeah.
Well, it looks like it replaces everything in the background too. So
we may just have to do a show like that. I don't know.
Without looking at Tom.
That is cool.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here.
All
Have
right.
a great week, guys.
Tom Cat. You could be Tom
Have a safe
Cat.
trip to Dayton.
All right. I'll see you, William. 73.
Take care. Bye.
Good night.
William.
Now what is that? That's a hamburger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
Like I said, it's got a whole bunch of different ones you can play with.
Yeah, I kind of like the cat or the what is that? What is that thing?
It's a
fox?
red panda.
A who?
Red panda.
Panda. Okay. Close one. Hey,
Tom,
Teresa.
Tom, if you can't do a show after Dayton, don't worry about it. You've been so busy. We can go a week without it.
Well, we'll do
I
something.
think so too.
We'll do something.
You need to take a break
even if
and hang out for a day or two up there.
I think
Go
I
over
can
to the Air
automatically.
Force Museum and enjoy yourself.
I think I can automatically run a show. I just need to schedule it. I can do that 2 weeks. There's probably shows that a lot of people hadn't seen. I can pick one of the older ones. Hey, Teresa. Close one eye. Let me see what happens if you close one eye. Let's see. Let me bring you up full big here. Hang on. Your picture's small. All right. Now, close one eye. Looks like both are closed.
Yeah.
Wiggle your ear.
Now that I don't know how it does the ear wiggling. That's its own.
Do your nose. Yeah. that is cool, man. I like it. That's so cool. Hey, what happens if you turn your head around? Do I see the back of that thing, or? Yeah, I do.
At some point in time, it stops and it pops back around and it just looks at you and it's kind of got this little.
Well, if you turn all the way around, let me see the back of your head. Can you do that? Back of your head.
I'm looking at the back wall.
Okay, so it's not going.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it gets to. Yeah, now it's telling me to recalibrate.
But that is so cool, though. I mean, it's so real. Man. So, what other animals do you have on there? You've got the cat, you got the panda, the hamburger.
Cat, panda. There's a couple of different dogs. A tiger. A turkey. And a T-Rex.
And what was the last one?
A turkey. And a T-Rex.
A T-Rex. Let's see the T-Rex.
There's the T-Rex. Okay, he's kind of cute.
Oh man, I don't know. The panda, to me, the panda is just, I don't know. That's perfect.
What's the name of the program?
Fox. It's called Face Rig.
Face Rig.
And you have to go through Valve.
Oh, I like that one.
Steam.
That's probably one of those programs that you load on your PC and it screws everything else up.
It takes a little while to get it set up and going. Like I said, it had been so long since I've messed with this. I forgot that you had to set it to broadcasting, which is why when I was sitting here before, it was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to work.
Yeah. We got people in the chat room looking at it. They like it.
Thank y'all. Anyway, that's the link for Steam, and you install that, and from there you can get your you can get this program, you can get a whole different bunch of games. I'm a gamer, so
okay, so I see it, steampowered.com. All right, I'll have to check that out. Steam Power.
Tom, I think I'm gonna bow out too. I've got to look at a couple of things on Facebook here before I turn in. I'll see you next week.
Okay, Doc, we'll see you come by and be sure to come by and see us.
I will. And good night to all.
All right.
Good night, Doc.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here too. It's 10 o'clock here. And,
yeah, I'm going to have to call tonight too. I got to get up at 5:30. Oh, it's 11 o'clock now. I got to get up at 5:30. I got to be in a bus seat at driving at 6:30 in the morning. So I suppose I should call it.
You don't want to fall asleep driving a bus, man.
No, that's not funny.
All right. Well, save me through to everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night, all.
All right. Well, that was kind of cool. Thanks, Jeff. KD5QDO Teresa. 73. Thank you. I wrote it down. Thank you. Kurt, we'll see you in Dayton, Kurt. Always a pleasure. Come by and see us. 73, Mike. We're back in Studio 2 right now. Let me get the phone number off the little thing here. There we go. Yeah, there we are in Studio 2. Let's see. Well, guys, I guess this is about the end of the show. Thanks, everybody, for coming. All right. That's good. All right. Thank you. I didn't think you guys were going to make it tonight. All right. Guys, thanks for watching the show tonight, and help us build a show up. I think a lot of hams do not know about this show, so please help us pass the word around to any new hams that don't know about this, where they can join us on the show on Tuesday nights. 73, and we'll see everybody later. See you next week.